Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Supernova Show, episode 48. And I am your host, Colton Roberts. And this week, we've got some good time Book of Boba Fett to talk about. Episode 3, we're going to do some the movie trivia report. We're going to talk about multiplexes in end of the year awards, and then a new Showdown thing that's happening, and then we'll talk about we'll start off the show by talking about the NFL and doing some predictions for Wild Card Week and some interesting things that have happened because of that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson of the Supernova Show, Mr. Robert Kastner.
Hello, everyone out there in Supernova Show land. How's it going?
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It was not a terrible week for me. Had fun. I've been watching a lot of stuff in preparation for things that are coming up in my life, which have been some rewatches of stuff. But you got to do that when you live the life that I live.
Oh yes, like if you can tell, my new office, I put a TV in there.
You did.
So whenever I start, once I get a Roku, not sponsored.
Damn it!
Hey, if they want to.
Yeah, we use a Roku in our bedroom.
Yeah, so once I do that, because before when we had that TV in the living room, before we got a smart TV, we would just hook it up to my Xbox. But I don't want to have to move my Xbox from out the living room. So we'll just handle that back there. And then, yeah, eventually at some point I will remember to do my audition for FCL, and then I'll have 3 Star Wars movies on back there.
Wait. This is a thing? This is a real... this is a done deal. You are doing this.
Well, if I ever remember to do it, then I will do it. Also, if I ever remember to put our banner at the bottom for our introduction welcome time thing, yeah, I am going to do that eventually if I remember to do that. But yeah,
are you planning on props, costumes, editing?
Know. I have no idea.
Okay, I feel like when I did my audition for the Showdown, I feel like part of the reason why I didn't get, because I didn't have a lot of pizzazz in it. I assume a lot of people put in like a lot of work editing, which I don't have editing software and I didn't want to do, which I'm fine with. But I'm just saying that.
Yeah, which I have plenty of lightsabers, so that's not really a problem. Yeah, so that won't be a problem at all.
Can I suggest an idea for you? I just thought of this.
Yes, you may.
If you could get your wife or your kids to, like, let's say you do a shot, an action shot, or a wide shot of you lying on the ground and somebody holding a lightsaber above you, like a sword of Damocles, asking you Star Wars questions, and then if you get it wrong, it like swings lower. I think that would be kind of funny if it was like one of these pendulum things swinging. It's a lightsaber, but obviously it's not real. But I just think it would be funny if you did that. That's my idea for you if you want to try something.
Okay, yeah, that sounds rad. All I was gonna do was get on StreamYards and just tell them, "Yo, what's up?"
That's what I did, and I thought it went well. I did a couple takes, but it turns out not so well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I may do that, but again, like it's for the FCL, so I might not actually have a problem.
Colton Roberts coming out strong, saying he doesn't got a problem trying to get in this league. They would love to have him.
That's right.
You heard it here, Supernova Show. Showians. Do we have a name for people who are Supernovians? Do we have a name for people who follow the show?
I don't think so, but we'll the Nova Nation.
Super Champagne Novas.
Okay. Well, whatever works.
Okay. But I'm doing well. this weekend, it's a long weekend, which is great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff that's happening to me over this weekend, which I'm down for. So I'm very much looking forward to this as the start of an awesome weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. The kids, they were out of school today for, North Carolina, or I don't know if it's all North Carolina, but I know the county that I live in, they like once a month they have a day off.
Yes.
Just because I don't know why, but they have the day off, and then they also have MLK Day, and I'm just
4-day weekend.
Yeah, so it's a 4-day weekend.
What did your kids do today with the day off?
Let's see. They played Minecraft on their Switch, and right now they're watching Clone Wars. They're trying to get through with Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels, and then Mandalorian before the end of Book of Boba Fett.
Holy gosh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but
as someone who watches things for work, basically, I know a lot.
And Mr. Jonathan Peck said,
"Hi, all right, Jonathan Peck, dude, I know from running the Sports Battleground or whatever in TMG, the debate show."
Okay, I was gonna say I have no idea who that is, but thank you so much for being on the coming in and commenting. I super appreciate it. Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really interesting week.
Yes.
Right now I'm sharing all the fun things on all the sites.
Share it.
Yep.
One thing you learn when you're a kid, it's about sharing and its benefits. Share it all over the place.
Yes.
And that goes for everybody who's watching. Share that all over the place. Because if we share it to 2 friends, and then they share it to 2 friends, and then they share it to 2 friends, it's like an exponent.
Yes, yes, it is. Let's see. But yeah, all right, let's Jonathan said thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
And yep, and then someone from, I assume, I don't want to assume what country you're from, but you said that. I don't know what
that's a bot.
Oh, okay. Well,
more than likely, but if you're not, good for you.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's been a very interesting week. We're 31 weeks into the pregnancy, so that's always good. Yeah.
And it was your wife's 30th birthday.
Yes, it was. Yeah, our second annual 29th birthday.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's how we set it up.
Yes, and of course, I mean, 30 has never looked so good. So there you go. I'm sure she's not watching this, but if she is, hey baby, how you doing? I'm 100% sure she's not. She's probably watching Criminal Minds in the living room.
Criminal Minds.
Oh yes, but okay. So let's move on to some NFL talk.
Let's roll up our sleeves for this.
Yeah. So how do you feel like since we last talked about the NFL? Big Ben has shown that he's not playing anymore, right?
Well, this is his last year. There was a big thing before 2 weeks ago when they played the Browns on Monday night that was going to be their last home game, because even if they got to a situation where they got to the playoffs, they wouldn't be really available to host a game because they would be a very low seed. They won that game. It was a great, rapturous night for him. A lot of fans, a lot of signs. He did a whole lap in the stadium after the game, got to have his kids out on the field with him at the end, hugging them, hugging his wife. While the game was not pretty in and of itself, and Ben was not the star of that game, he was the star of the evening, and that was cool. Then they went into last week's game with very minimal chances to make the playoffs, but still chances, and many people were expecting that to be his last game. They won that game in overtime. Very interesting back and forth, slobber knocker of a game, but they needed help to get in the playoffs. They got that help, and it seemed like a foregone conclusion until the game that happened at the end of Sunday, which was the last regular season game between the Chargers and the Raiders, where all the Steelers needed to get in the playoffs was there not to be a tie. And I was watching that game, and it seemed like the Raiders had it put in the bag, but it was a 15-point game. And then the Chargers came down and scored with a 2-point conversion to make it a 7-point game. You're like, uh-oh. And then they had to drive like 90 yards with very minimal time and no timeouts. And they converted like 4 fourth downs, and they made it to overtime. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this impossible thing that never really happens except for once or twice a year going to happen right when we don't need it to happen? Raiders got the ball, kicked the field goal. Chargers got the ball, kicked the field goal. I'm like, well, this tie is definitely going to happen. Fortunately, the Chargers were really stupid and called a timeout and allowed the Raiders to gain a couple additional yards. Raiders kicked the last second field goal. Chargers go home. Raiders get in the playoffs. Steelers sneak into the playoffs. So Ben has at least one more game coming his way Sunday night against perennial AFC powerhouse Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, and I am definitely interested how the rest of the season is going to go. I'm going to get a notepad here, and we're going to do some predictions for the playoffs. And
okay, but while you're doing that, you're getting that prepared. Let me just say, beyond that Steeler game that was crazy, and that Raiders-Chargers game, which was uber insane, there was a lot of crazy things that happened the last week of the year. People were sort of complaining that the season was dragging on a bit. Week 18, how's that going to work? We have our 17th game. People aren't used to it. Steelers game was awesome. Somehow the Jaguars trounced the Colts. All the Colts had to do was beat the Jaguars, who are the worst team in the NFL, and the Jaguars thumped them, which allowed the Steelers to get into the playoffs in the first place. 49ers were down 17-0 against the Rams, and the 49ers needed to win to get in the playoffs, and they came back and tied it, and they won that game in overtime. Crazily. Week 18 was awesome, and people thought it would be a little bit of a drag, but it was really cool. And if that's the sign of how things are to come, then week 18 will probably end up being a good idea. We'll see how that trend continues as time goes on and people get more and more tired and thus more and more injured. Maybe after COVID, knock on wood, maybe things will be a little clearer and more defined and more available. Yes, please keep knocking on the wood for things to happen cleanly. But for the first year of this new age of 17 games, it's pretty sweet.
Okay, and Jonathan said, "Don't forget about the Jags."
I did. I just mentioned the Jags did the impossible. They won a game they had no business to win. They did it in crazy fashion to the point where the Colts now very, very much regret the idea of trading for Carson Wentz. And even despite the win, they still got the number 1 overall pick. Now, granted, they already just had the number 1 overall pick, spent it on the quarterback they should have, and he was very middling to not good up until this last game where he was great. But they could use that to trade down. They could do a lot of things with it. But yes, that was also one of the crazy things that happened in week 18. Thank you, JP, for keeping me honest.
Yeah, okay, so I have this notepad here.
Yes.
It's weird because in like a few months, I'm going to look at this and be like, what in the world was I talking about?
Those are the best kind of notes, honestly.
Yes, because it says Colton, then it says Robert, which, you know, my first name is Colton and my last name is Roberts.
Yep.
Later on in my life, I'm going to be looking at this and be like, what in the world was I doing?
When you've forgotten about me, when we haven't talked in like 7 years, you're like, what is this? I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, as long as you're on the show, we don't have to worry about it. As long as you're like, I'm involved in trivia or have an online presence, then we don't have to worry about it. Like, so as long as one of us doesn't go like to prison or anything like that, knock on wood,
or dies.
Well, yeah, but then I at least would see your Facebook every year, because apparently if someone dies on your Facebook, it kind of your Facebook reminds you.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Facebook, very macabre.
And if you go to unfriend someone who's dead, it says, hey, this is a memorial page now. You shouldn't unfriend the dead person. Because so
Facebook wants to steal all your information, and they want to disseminate a lot of crappy information, but they also want to make you feel terrible about yourself for trying to clean up your friends list.
Yes, exactly. There's that. So this week. The first game, which is tomorrow at 4:30.
Yeah, tomorrow at 4:30.
Yeah, Raiders versus the Bengals. Who you
Yes.
got?
So the Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. They played earlier this year. A lot of people going into this game are trying to remind people that even though the game score at the end was not very close, the Raiders had the ball in the fourth quarter with the chance to make it really close, I think tie it, but they threw an interception, Bengals scored, couldn't get back into reach. To be honest, my mother does these office pools for sports things. A lot of times it's March Madness, but this time it's NFL playoffs, and asked me to fill one out for her. And I picked the Raiders in this game. Now, I am designed to hate the Bengals by charge. Both these teams beat my team, and the Bengals beat us twice. So, but I'm conditioned to hate the Bengals. But I just think there's something with this Raiders team, all the turmoil with the John Gruden emails, with the Henry Ruggs drunk driving and killing someone thing, with the Darren Waller not being around for half the season, and they still made the playoffs and won 10 games. It's Derek Carr's first playoff game. The last time the Raiders made the playoffs, he was having an MVP season, and then he tore his ACL right before the playoffs. Then they had to play, I think it was like Matt McGloin or somebody, and they got smoked by Houston. I think he's going to kind of revel to be in this game. I'm picking the Raiders. I take the Raiders with the points. I'm picking the Raiders to win. A lot of people would say that the Bengals have a lot of firepower and the Raiders can't keep up. I like the Josh Jacobs thing. I like Darren Waller being back. I kind of like Derek Carr in this game. So I'm going with the Raiders.
Okay, so as a person who I don't care about this game, so I'm going to roll a D6. 1, 2, 3 are the Raiders, and 4, 5, and 6 is the Bengals.
Okay, I'm going to bet this comes up 4, 5, 6 for the Bengals. That's my prediction.
All right, so the Raiders it is.
Okay.
Do you need proof?
No, I trust you.
Wait, let's see if we can do this. Can you see that's a 2?
Yes, sort of. I sort of saw it.
Okay,
but I believed you anyway. You're a man of integrity, so it's fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we're both picking the Raiders.
Yeah.
I know prognosticators, most of the money's on the Bengals, but I don't give a crap about that.
All right. Then tomorrow at 8:15, aka Saturday, if people are watching this later, it's the Patriots versus the Bills.
Yes. Game number 3 for them. Obviously, they play in the same division. They played twice. These were the two contenders for the AFC East. The Bills ended up winning, so they get the home game.
Yeah.
Why don't you go first?
Personally, I don't know a whole lot about either team. So, since you asked me that, I have no idea. But guess what? That doesn't mean I won't make my prediction.
Okay. Are you rolling another die?
No. I'm actually going to make this.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I want the Patriots to win. Because remember at the beginning of the season, I said it would be really funny if it was the Patriots and the Buccaneers.
That's very, very unlikely to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But this is at least one step towards that thing happening. Because then, your nightmare would come true. Because
I wouldn't watch the game.
Yeah, either the Patriots are going to get their 7th ring, right?
That would be 7 for them as an organization.
And then it would be 8 for Brady.
Yeah, my nightmare hellscape continues.
Yeah. So that's who I'm choosing just for the you're going to have to tell me how these games work into next week because
I'll tell you what happens given we'll make our predictions and I'll tell you where people end up because of our predictions. But I'll also tell you if it goes the other way where they're going to end up.
Okay.
So you're picking the Patriots.
Yep.
Okay. So again, Bills are the 3 seed, Patriots are the 6. Bills are favored by 4.5. They've played twice. They split the games. One game was the nastiest game you've ever seen where it was 50-mile-an-hour winds. the Patriots quarterback, Mac Jones, who's a rookie, threw 3 times in the entire game. I think they ran like 45 to 50 times, the Patriots did. And Buffalo couldn't answer because they couldn't throw in the wind. And the Patriots won that game. So the Patriots were on a streak. Looked like they were going to win the division. They lost a couple games, and they played a few weeks after that. Josh Allen was great, and Buffalo won that game. Buffalo was able to sustain because they had a really easy schedule down the stretch and win the division. So they split. This game is predicted to be single-digit weather, going close to 0 with crappy wind. So given how the teams like to play, I am also picking the Patriots. So with the points, picking the Patriots to win. And I'll do something for you, Colton. I hated that I made this prediction. I had the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, and I hate it. But given how I did my seeds, and we'll talk about that when we get there, I have the Patriots winning this game and winning the next one. I hate to say it, but that's how I see it going.
All right, that's very interesting.
So we have the 2 road teams on Saturday winning.
Yep. All right, so Sunday, the first game is at 1 p.m. It's the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. You already know who I am picking.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, like that's no problem at all. But yeah, the Buccaneers. Yeah, that happens.
Okay.
But
so this is a rematch of a previous game, like Raiders Bengals. The Buccaneers were fairly dominant in the game, but the Eagles ran the ball a lot, and they actually got it to within 8 late. This is also a crappy weather game. There's going to be a lot of wind. It's going to be rainy, I think. And a lot of people are zigging when they should be zagging or whatever. And a lot of people are kind of picking the Eagles because the Eagles can control the clock. The Bucs are a bit banged up. They don't have Antonio Brown anymore, who I forget if we talked about, just decided to peace out during the Jets game, taking off his jersey, waving bye to the crowd, getting in an Uber, and never really coming back. There was some more things that came out about that, about how they wanted him to play when he wasn't healthy. They said he was healthy, blah, 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 blah. But they don't have Antonio Brown. They don't have Chris Godwin. They're pretty banged up on defense. People are coming back. But a lot of people are picking a major upset and picking the Eagles. It's Tom Brady at home trying to defend a title. I just don't see it. I think the game will be fairly close. I would take the Eagles with the points at 8.5, but I'm picking the Buccaneers to win. So I'm picking like a 7-point game. I will say the Eagles will make it tough on the Buccaneers if they sustain drives and run, but it's Tom Brady at home as a 2 seed. I'll take the Buccaneers.
All right. So the following game. Oh no, there's one more.
Okay. The following game's at 4:30.
Yep.
And it's 49ers at Cowboys.
Yep, 49ers and Cowboys. For the sake of my father, I will choose the Cowboys.
Okay.
Just for that reason. But yeah, that's who I'm choosing. And I think, like, again, I don't know how the seating works, because I know obviously like Green Bay and the Titans are not playing this week because they're both on bye, right?
Yeah, they got the 1 seed. They're in the bye.
So I don't know how any of that stuff works.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah. So I don't know who they would play next, but I really like them playing the Buccaneers would be great. So I have to, just so I can be like, haha, Dad.
That would be the next game if the Buccaneers and the Cowboys win. Okay. These teams have not played. We're at the 40th anniversary of the Catch. Have you ever heard of the Catch, Colton?
I've heard it referenced. Wait. In like Scrubs.
Yes.
They reference it in Scrubs. Yeah. Like, the kids like in the hospital bed, and he's like, "We're watching the Catch. The Catch. Does anyone not know what the Catch is?" And
That's
then
right.
Chris Turk walks in and is like, "Hey, yeah," and then he describes it, but I don't remember what it was.
It's a quintessential game of the history of the Cowboys and the 49ers. They played. It was a very close game. It looked like the Cowboys were going to win. The 49ers, Joe Montana throws this crazy pass that looked like it's going out of the back of the end zone, but Roger Craig, I believe, jumps up way farther than it looks like a dude of his stature should. Like, he has way more hops than he should. Catches it before it goes out of the back of the end zone. He puts his feet down. 49ers end up winning that game. I think they go on and win the Super Bowl that year. I don't remember against who. But it kind of starts off the 49ers dynasty a bit. It's kind of the quintessential play of the 80s, if you will, that and the drive with Elway against the Browns. But that 40th anniversary is coming up. And how I just described it to you, the 49ers won that game. This game is really weird. It is not a rematch. It's the only game of the week that's not a rematch from the year. A lot of people, it's a 3-point Dallas favorite. But Dallas is at home. And usually the home team gets 3 points. So that means that Vegas thinks the teams are basically even. And why do they think that? Because they basically are. The reason the Cowboys are the 3 seed and won 12 games is because they play in a crappy division. They play in a division with the Eagles, who made the playoffs, but Eagles were crappy against winning teams. The Giants, who are a mess, who just fired their coach and their general manager. And Washington, who is frisky, but they didn't have their starting quarterback the whole year, really. And their defense suffered. And Cowboys really took advantage of that and playing teams like Atlanta and all these crappy teams. 49ers have a power running team. They just made the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Were Jimmy Garoppolo decent enough pass away from taking the lead and probably winning the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? A lot of people were on the 49ers bandwagon. I'm with them. I'm taking the Niners to win this game. So we've done 4 games, and I'm picking 3 of the road teams so far. So Give me the Niners with the point. I'm like, give me all the points. I'm not picking any favorites, really. Give me the points. Give me the, in this case,
all
give
right,
me the Niners win.
Jonathan said this.
That's also the case. This is the slime game or whatever, the Nickelodeon game. I was so happy that this was not going to be the Steelers game because I did not want to have to endure watching that. I know a lot of people think it's cute, and we watched it last year and it was fine, but I like my football game to be serious, especially when it involves my own team.
Yep. And then, of course, Jonathan has made some predictions here, but I've left them out so to not influence my decisions.
Okay. We can go back to them when we're done.
Let's do that. We absolutely will.
All right. Next game.
Steelers versus the Chiefs.
Yeah, we're the Sunday night game. How did that happen? It's the game with the largest point spread, the game that nobody thinks the underdog team will win, but we're the Sunday night game. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah. So, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize.
No apology necessary.
Like, if, I mean, it'd be nice to see Ben, like, get one more.
I mean, not that long ago in 2008, when Tom Brady had 3 Super Bowl rings and Ben had 2, I predicted that he and Tom Brady would finish with the same amount of Super Bowl rings. I thought it would be 4. Guess how wrong I was. Very wrong. Although I almost got the total number of Super Bowls right. That would have been 8, and they have 9 between them. So I was close. The distribution was way off. And why is the distribution off? Because I think we're in one of the darkest timelines, football-wise. That's just me. That's community reference if you've never watched. So you're picking the Chiefs. Do you think it will be a close game or not a close game?
I do not think it will be a close game.
Okay. So everybody, this is the largest line of the week, 12.5 for the Chiefs. That means almost a 2-touchdown advantage. Steelers played the Chiefs 4 weeks ago. Chiefs did not have Travis Kelce because he was in COVID protocols. Tyreek Hill was coming off COVID protocols. And for someone who had him in the fantasy playoffs, was really pissed that he barely played in that game. Thanks a lot, Chiefs, you assholes. But even despite all that, the Chiefs dominated the Steelers. It was like 36-10, and it was really 36-3 with a bullcrap touchdown that happened at the end that meant nothing. All this being said, it's Ben's last ride. He's 13-9 in the playoffs. The last time he won a playoff game was in Kansas City. Granted, was not Patrick Mahomes. It was Alex Smith. And the Steelers won that game by only kicking field goals. And then Antonio Brown Facebook Live from the locker room. And then we went to New England and got our heads handed to us before they went on and beat the Falcons in the most miraculous Super Bowl comeback you've ever seen and probably will ever see. Yeah. What am I leading up to with all this? I don't think the Steelers are going to win. But we have the all-time sack leader, or one of the sack leaders, in TJ Watt. He got hosed, by the way, last week. He should be the outright leader, but they took away a sack from him unnecessarily. We have a defense that has led the league in sacks for like the 5th year in a row. Granted, that hasn't led to a lot of postseason success, but it's happened. We have a quarterback who knows how to win in the playoffs. We have a coach who knows how to win in the playoffs. We have some good skill position people. I do not think this will be a cakewalk for the Chiefs. I will take the Steelers with the points, but I'm going to say that the Chiefs win by 10.
Okay.
And it'll be Ben's retirement party, as the Kansas City faithful have been putting out on flyers and social media. They can suck it, but they're right, more than likely.
Okay, so Jonathan said Mahomes is pulling a Shawn Michaels to Big Ben's Ric Flair on Sunday night.
I wish I understood what that meant. I mean, I know who the people. I mean, I know who the people are, but I know the context of.
Okay, so at WrestleMania, they had a match, and if Ric Flair lost, he had to retire, and Ric Flair's like telling him bring it, and like Shawn Michaels is like, sorry, I love you, and then he super kicks Ric Flair right in the face, and because he knows he has to give him his all or whatever. So that's what Jonathan's going at.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So we were the same in the first 3 picks, and we've diverted, or we're the same for 4 out of 5 picks.
Yep. And then
stupidly we have a Monday night game. Yep, which I don't understand.
8:15, Cardinals versus the Rams, and this is one of those other games where I just don't give a crap. So,
you doing the die?
Yep, sure am.
Rolling the die.
Okay, so the Cardinals for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't give a crap.
Okay. So it's a 4-point line, so it's pretty even. They play in the same division. These were the 2 teams who were up trying to win the NFC West. They split their games. The Cardinals beat the crap out of the Rams at home. The Rams barely beat the Cardinals when they had a lot of people on COVID or whatever. The Cardinals were the last undefeated team, and then they went 4-6 down the stretch. They should have won the division. They did not win the division. And now they have to go to LA and play in this game. 3rd time's the charm again. A lot of people like the Cardinals because Kyler Murray is supposedly healthy. Matthew Stafford of the Rams has been pretty turnover prone. They had that game in San Francisco in hand and could have knocked San Francisco out of the playoffs, and they just decided to give it up, cough it up, as they have been doing lately. I am actually going to pick the Rams in this one. And I'm picking the Rams because I trust Sean McVay and the infrastructure of LA over Kyler Murray, over their head coach, whose name is escaping me right now. I don't know why I can't think of his name. The dude who was the head coach at Texas Tech. They just don't know how to end seasons. So I don't have any confidence that they can do that here. I know Stafford's been bad, but I'm going to go with the Rams because I trust their infrastructure more, even though the Las Vegas would say that it's going to be close.
Okay. So who did you predict?
I picked the Rams.
Okay. All right. So since that's all of our predictions, I will put Jonathan's up here.
Cliff Kingsbury is the coach, who I forgot his name.
Jonathan put the Bengals beating the Raiders, the Bills beating the Patriots, the Buccaneers beating I don't remember.
The Eagles.
Eagles. The
49ers beating the Cowboys.
And then the Chiefs and Cardinals winning.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's go through your picks, and I'll tell you what that would mean for everybody if your picks were in. So if you had the Raiders beating the Bengals and the Patriots beating the Bills, right?
That is correct.
And the Chiefs beating the Steelers.
That is correct.
So given how that goes, what happens is in the playoffs, they reseed so that the team that's on bye, who is the 1 seed, plays the lowest seed left. And then the other 2 teams play each other. So in your scenario, which is very similar to the scenario I set up in my bracket, the Patriots would go and play Tennessee, and Kansas City would play the Raiders.
Okay.
Which is what I have as well. In Jonathan's scenario, with the Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs winning, the Bills would play the Chiefs, and the Bengals would play Tennessee.
And you think the Patriots are going to beat Tennessee?
Yes, I don't trust Tennessee as far as I could throw them. I don't know if Derrick Henry's going to be back. I think they're the weakest 1 seed you've ever seen. To the point where I'll tell you what, if the Steelers somehow pull off the impossible and beat the Chiefs, I have no doubt in my mind they will beat Tennessee and be in the AFC Championship game. No question. The Chiefs is the hardest game for the Steelers, honestly. I would go so far as to say the Steelers would make the Super Bowl if they beat the Chiefs. That's a really big if. But I'm just saying that if it happened, I would be all geeked up. Because the Steelers already beat the Titans once. I do not trust that Titans team at all. I don't know how they won 12 games and got the 1 seed, but they did. So that's what would happen in our scenario. In Jonathan's scenario, I would pick the Bengals to beat the Titans, and I would have a rematch of that fabulous game from 3 weeks ago where the Bengals would play the Chiefs in Arrowhead for the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Now let's go to your other side. So you had Bucks, Cowboys, and Cardinals winning?
Yes, Bucks, Cowboys, and Cardinals.
So your wish would come true, and the Bucks would play the Cowboys, and then the Packers would play the Cardinals. Okay. And I think the Packers would probably dominate the Cardinals in that case, playing in Lambeau. Although the Packers barely beat, it was the Cardinals' first loss. That was in Arizona. But, I mean, the Packers basically had no receivers, and Rodgers still willed them to win. And then that Buccaneers-Cowboys game would be interesting. I think I might actually take the Cowboys. I don't trust. I think in a shootout, I think the Cowboys have more weapons and their fast defense. I think that would cause problems for Brady. I would pick the Cowboys, so it would be Packers-Cowboys. So which would be, really interesting.
You saying that made me laugh in my head because you were like, they have faster weapons. I'm like, well, yeah. Cowboys use a 6-shooter and Pirates use like little
flintlock pistols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I laughed in my head and I decided, well, I think that's funny. I'm going to tell Robert. And Jonathan said this, and I don't know what that means. So
he thinks Derrick Henry is coming back. They haven't really confirmed it or not, at least from what I've seen. So he can say that. But even then, I still think whatever team plays the Titans is still going to beat them. I don't care. So that's your scenario. In my scenario, I had the Bucks, 49ers, and Rams winning. So in that case, the Packers would play the 49ers, who they've played a lot in the last 4 years, and the 49ers always have their number. And the Bucks would play the Rams. And in my scenario, I have Packers versus Rams in the NFC Championship game. I don't have the Bucks getting to the NFC title game in any case, because I don't trust them, given how depleted they are, and given the fact they just had a playoff run, a long one with a 44-year-old quarterback. No, I don't trust it. And then Jonathan's, what were his? He had Niners, Cardinals, and Bucks, right?
Yes.
So he would have the Niners going to the Packers, and they would have the Buccaneers playing the Cardinals. In that scenario, I probably would have the Buccaneers making the NFC title game. So it would be Packers and Bucks, which is a rematch from last year where the Buccaneers went into Lambeau and won somehow. I don't see that happening again. So basically my prediction for the playoffs is that the Packers will play the Chiefs and the Chiefs will win.
Okay.
Which is not very sexy because that's probably what most people will think is going to happen, but they're just the 2 best teams and I don't really see how anybody dethrones them. So, and again, That's my team playing that one team in 2 days. But I love my team. I'm just realistic.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, that's very interesting. Like I'm really thinking about what are we going to talk about once football's over?
We can glom on. I mean, baseball's going to be on strike, so we can't talk about that. We can talk about hockey if you want, or basketball. We can do one of those.
Ooh.
Or we could do like golf or something. I don't know. We can switch it up. You're right though. Without football, it kind of stinks.
Yeah, and then of course, like once Book of Boba Fett's over, we don't know when the next streaming thing is.
Yeah, we'll really have to figure out and generate content. That would be fun.
Yes, we will. We'll figure something out. I mean, eventually you'll watch Eternals, and then we'll talk about that. So that'll be
probably will be in a couple weeks when all my stuff is over.
Yep. But all right, let's go ahead and we'll move on to the movie trivia report.
Yes, the movie trivia report.
Okay, so there's a big thing that happened in the Showdown that was revealed today.
Ooh.
I don't know if you saw it, but
I did not. What happened?
Okay, so they revealed that on the wheel from now on there will be 9 categories.
Okay.
And then 3 wild card categories.
Okay.
That 2 of the wild card categories, you won't know it until you say, hey, I want to stick with the wild card. Because one of the wild cards will be spinner's choice.
Oh.
Wild card will be opponent's. One of the wild card will be opponent's choice. And the third wild card is a category that's never been used before.
Oh.
Yep. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting something that you potentially won't. But if you land on it, it could be spinner's choice, and then you rock it out. But then it could be like something like they said it could be like comic relief would be a wild card, and then it's like all about Charlie Day or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then of course, like you could choose wild card, and then it's opponent's choice, and you don't know it until after you choose wild card.
Does that mean are spinners and opponents on in those 9 categories or no?
Nope. It's under one of the wild cards.
Okay. And so that means that the category nobody's used is also under the wild cards and not one of the existing known categories, you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, like they won't be able to choose whatever that category is until after it's been revealed. So like it will be a category that's secret even to the players. Only the host and PJ, I guess, will know what that is.
So I really, really like this in theory because of the variance it can create. And obviously the idea of there being inconsistencies, of there being drama that's added to it, any given Sunday sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But in my estimation, unless someone is really far behind, I don't see how anybody would like stick with a wild card category. It would just be one of those things where if it's the extra spin, then they would have to take the wild card category. But I think like for everybody, if they choose a wild card, right, if they get a wild card on their first spin, they're never going to take it.
Right. And at least like, on the first spin, like before, it could be if you span opponent's choice, you had to stick with it. Now, if you get wild card, you can roll away from it or spin away from it, which underneath it could have been opponent's choice, but you don't know that.
I do like the idea of even if it's not like if it's a closer game, but you're dealing with someone who maybe doesn't feel quite up to snuff skill-wise, if they would like to roll the dice to see if they could get spinner's choice from that, or if they would be so risk adverse that they would be like, well, if I get opponent's choice, I'm done because I'm not going to be able to catch up or anything. So I do like the gameplay strategy with this. It's an interesting.
Yeah, I don't think anyone who's winning would ever take it because there's a 2/3 chance that it's going to be something you're not good at.
Truth, but maybe if someone's so confident that they look at the wheel, like opponent's choice, what does it matter? They can't give me anything I don't mind. Or maybe we get a category that hasn't been used, which means the questions might be easier, and then I can knock somebody out potentially doing this wild card thing. I think you might find some people with the chutzpah
Yeah, especially like in singles, that's a lot harder because your opponent may put something up on the wheel that's like really obscure just if they land on opponent's choice, and then they can pick that.
You mean like Paul picking Kurosawa?
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, like
even though those aren't obscure, but you know what I mean. For people primarily, those would be things that they wouldn't want.
Right. Yeah, so that could be like I think it's a really interesting concept, and I don't know if it will be across all leagues. They didn't really announce that.
Oh, that would be cool if it was like in Star Wars. That would be neat. Or
Yeah,
actually, I guess that wouldn't matter. It would be cool if it was in IG for sure.
Yeah, but then I don't know what movies would the mystery category even be like unless it's stuff. Yeah, unless they like don't tell the people the categories, and then they're just like, "Hey, this is insert geek movie here."
Can you imagine how crazy all movie trivia would be if nobody knew the categories ever?
Yeah.
And that speaks to someone who a lot of times relies on that because it means they can study and remember things. And if that happened to me, I'd be like, oh shit, I have to remember. I just have to go in with my guts and my what I've learned so far. Ugh, that's scary.
Yep.
It's also freeing, by the way. But to put a period on this, I think it will create a lot of parody, and parody is usually a good thing. So
yeah, like
rule change goes, I like this.
Like I wonder if like a lot of the leagues obviously they follow the Schmodown a little bit, but some of them have distanced themselves. I'm wondering like our our parent company here, they follow the Schmodown very similarly with how their matches are. So I wonder if that will change. Like I would love to like just watch some like wild card stuff in the fan leagues because where I think the fan league players are, I would say a lot of them are better than some Schmodown players, but there's also Schmodown players that are definitely far superior than the fan league players.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, like I think, of course, there's because like I don't want to say anything about the people that have been on the show before, but there are definitely people that they've never been in the fan leagues, but they've only ever been in the Schmodown and they've become champions. Like Thomas is that way, but Thomas is kind of an anomaly. Like again, we've talked before that he's done Dragon Con.
I think Dragon Con's the hardest barometer for people's Star Wars skills, so I would throw him out there.
Yeah,
I would say though, if you gave me the top 5 singles players in the fan leagues versus the top 5 singles players in Schmodown, I'd probably take the fan league people.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just from what I've known and what I've seen, and now I respect people in my craft as opposed to the pros, I probably would take the fan league people.
Yeah, and then there's people like I think if Nick ever went to the Schmodown,
he would dominate. It wouldn't be close.
He'd be the IG champion. Like
I don't know how Mike Kalinowski would like. He would have to get him out, like psych him out.
Yeah.
If you ever watched Nick Tuig do anything, Nick Tuig's just like an even flowing river the entire time. It's like I don't even know how that would work, honestly. I think they should do exhibitions sometimes. I'm just saying, like, you can switch it between Schmodown and the fan leagues, but like, I think they should do exhibitions between fan league and Schmodown people.
Yep.
Who are already in the leagues. That's my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So then we were going to talk about the snowball, which I did not watch, so I don't know anything of what went down or who it is even. It's Full Metal, right?
It's Full Metal. Yeah. This is their end of the year event, but it came out a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Early January. The first video was all the different people who had won 4 classics got to play in the Ultimate Classic Showdown. So they basically had 10 people. They split them up 5 and 5. If you won 4 classics during the year, you were in one of these. whoever were the top two in both of them would then be forced into like the finals, and whoever won that is the classic champion. And I don't remember how it went specifically. I do know that Jeremy Adams came back and he won his gauntlet, and I forget who went with him. It wasn't David. I don't remember who went with him. And then Joseph won the other gauntlet, and I forget who went with him. But then Jeremy Adams ended up winning the whole thing, which was not at all surprising because he's freaking Jeremy Jeremy and Tony from my faction. And then I forget who's with Joseph. But yeah, it was just Jeremy's a machine. Jeremy's been writing for Showdown and was the Full Metal question writer and the person who ran that league for a while. So when you play him in regular movie trivia, it's kind of a daunting task. But that's what happened in the one video. And then the second video, they did the singles number one contender and the championship match. And I was involved with both of them. I played Brian Michaels in the number one contender match. We were the last two people not named Joseph Olivas to play. We played each other, and I pulled it out by the skin of my teeth, which was great. I almost lost because I didn't say magical bag of wins for this SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but we challenged it because I said bag of wins, and they gave it to me, which was nice. And then I played Joseph in the title, and that match was not particularly close for a while until the end. I did not get TKO'd, but he got his strength, and I got a random category. I found out later if I had got my strength, I might have won. So that was nice. And yeah, he ended up winning at the end. But my Full Metal career, I'm 6-2, and I've only lost to one person, and that was the champion both times. So Joseph is a monster. Joseph was in the Classic Championship for a reason. Joseph won the Classic Championship, I think, last year for a reason. He's part of Wild Stallions, the team champions, who were also the team champions in Multiplex for a while, for a reason. He's a freaking computer. But that's how the end of Full Metal happened. Usually they would do Geek or they would do teams, but RJ took a big break from Geek because of his off trivia pursuits. And teams, they just didn't do a lot of team matches, so they didn't have a gauntlet. They didn't have anything to culminate in something that was worthy of a Snowball-like event. So those are the events that we got for Snowball. So I was involved twice, and almost involved a third time because I almost won 4 classics, but I couldn't pull it out at the end, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would have just been all me on the Snowball videos, and that would have been sad.
I understand.
Yep.
But yeah, so...
But I got over it, by the way. And for those who didn't know, in that same week, I filmed that match against Joseph and my title match against Jake. So.
Oh, and speaking of which, before we move on to Multiplex, I know you had your match in TMG.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's the most embarrassing match of my career, if we want to be frank.
Yeah, like
not embarrassing to lose to Antonio, embarrassing how I lost. That's
like I told you last week I was supposed to help judge that match, and then that didn't happen. And then Tuesday I was going to judge the Tyler versus Jay match, but at the last minute, I messaged Kevin and was like, "Hey, are we still having the match tonight?" He's like, "Oh crap, I forgot to message you." Amaru was able to do it tonight, so
you got bumped.
Yeah, I sure did for Showdown Pro, but that's okay. He's cool, and also that means I didn't have to make myself presentable or put on pants, so I'll take it.
You don't have to put on pants when you do this.
Yes, I do, because sometimes I accidentally get up and I'm not gonna just be.
You should write a note on your monitor or whatever that says "Don't get up."
Yeah, I've totally done. Yeah, I'm just not dealing with that. So I just, that was an entire day. But yeah.
Is there anything you want to ask me about my match?
Yeah. I know we talked about like you got Wizarding World in the second round.
I chose it.
Chose it.
Yes.
And so what made you like? I haven't watched the match, so I don't know what kind of questions you've got yet.
Very, very hard questions. I think that shouldn't have been 2-point questions.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. This is one of those things. Antonio had a manager. He has Hunter as his manager in that league. I don't like to use a manager in that league until we get to the finals. This is one of those things where had I had somebody in my ear, I probably would have done the right thing. Prior to that match, because I wasn't giving it all my attention because I have other more pressing matches coming up, I watched basically every DCE movie besides Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad because I wanted to refresh. And what I really should have done is just taken DCEU and fallen back on what it is I had just watched. And it definitely couldn't have gone worse than Wizarding World went. I only got 2 points at Wizarding World, I believe. Yes. And Antonio stole the other points, even though he got opponent's choice and I gave him Star Trek and he got 5 points. Although I will tell you, I would have done way better with just taking Star Trek than doing what I did with Wizarding World. It was one of those things where looking at the wheel, I thought Wizarding World was a slam dunk, but people take Wizarding World a lot. I don't know why I don't take my strength in that league. I guess I'm just really worried. It scares me, even though I like the category. But it was a strategic error. I should have taken either DCEU or my strength, which in that case was movie release dates, and just seen where we went. And then my 3 and my 5 in the third round, I almost got the 3. I was right around there. And then the 5 was a Spirit of Vengeance question. I watched Spirit of Vengeance once. I haven't revisited it. I hate going, I never would have got that question, so it's fine.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, one, so I'm at the point where you're choosing your category, so
Yeah.
I'll watch that later. But so you don't like Spirit of Vengeance?
No, it's okay. I just only have seen it one time, and I don't want to go back and revisit it.
Okay.
It's just something that hasn't come up much, honestly. I know Ghost Rider better than Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah.
Do you know what my question was? I'll see if you know it. Who is the original Ghost Rider? What was the name of the original Ghost Rider? As noted in Spirit of Vengeance.
I have no idea.
Okay, it's Zarathos or whatever. I never would have pulled that. I'm pretty sure I've read it, and I've obviously watched the movie. It never would have penetrated here. I know it now, but I mean, when it came up and it was like 5-pointer from Marvel, I was like, well, I lost. Because I watched Marvel. Remember when TMG, Ryan Payne was going to do the Marvel League or whatever?
Yeah, the Marvel tournament.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Marvel movies in prep for that. But that was like 2 years ago, and it never happened. So it kind of screwed me up. And I haven't watched every Marvel movie, by the way. There are a couple I didn't get to. But I've watched a lot of them. Like, I just went back and watched every Spider-Man over the last week. That's helpful. I watched Dark Phoenix. I watched Men in Black International. But I've been watching a lot of Marvel movies regardless. But no, that match was just a strategy issue. And also, not to make excuses, but I only had like 3 hours of sleep that night. And like there was a question during Wizarding World where I meant to use a repeat and I accidentally said multiple choice because I was not firing on all cylinders. And when I said multiple choice, as soon as I finished, when I went multiple choice in my head, I was like, no, I meant shit. So that's what happened. Is it just a strategy issue? I had a perfect first round. It's the first one I had.
Yeah, which now like it's gonna be either Tyler or Jay, which their match versus Antonio, the winner of that. So
honestly, and then we'll probably play Brittany or whatever because she has the Geek for All in her back pocket.
But now I'm wondering who, like, do you think Tyler can beat Joe?
Yes. On his best day and on Joe's not best day.
Because honestly,
I think I give Antonio the same shot in that same vein.
Okay, because I was going to say I don't think any of the four that could potentially have a title match with Joe that's coming up can beat him.
You don't think Brittany can beat him?
Nope, I do not.
Okay. There's something that's coming up in another league that you should watch.
Okay.
I was also part of it. I think you'll change your tune about that, given how that went.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into any other detail.
Like, watching her match with Antonio, she was not that impressive.
Not that one, no. But as you've seen, for most normal people, there are matches that just get away from you.
Yes. And yeah, like I'm just
So you're just thinking it's Joe.
I think it's Joe.
No,
and
no,
honestly, like I'm trying to think of anyone that's in TMG.
No.
That can maybe David, maybe you.
Yeah, I mean, I got TKO'd by him, but again, I had circumstances where I had the fandom teams match like the draft for that in the back of my head because we were running an hour behind, and that sort of screwed me up. So if you give me another opportunity, I'll be more focused.
Yeah.
David can obviously because he just beat him in Onthal.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm probably going to get another shot close enough because I'm 6-3 with 4 TKOs. I'm probably going to be like number 2 or number 3 by the time this is all done. So it really doesn't matter how it goes. And I'm happy for the break, honestly. Fandom is starting back up again, and that's a thing that takes a lot of time. And I'd rather just focus my attention on that.
Yeah, and especially like I mean, you got that 5-way match in Fandom.
Yes.
And you're the number 1 contender or the number 1 ranked person in Fandom teams right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we're on a short. They mentioned it during the Q&A on Sunday, but yeah, we're on a short list. We're one of 4 teams with a direct path to the title right now.
Okay.
And those matches are being filmed very, very soon.
Okay. Yeah.
Literally every night after work, I'm watching at least 2 or 3 Fandom movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm watching them during work.
Hey, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
To be honest, though, it takes me forever to get through it because I'm typing out an email and I'm trying to watch or pay attention. I can't do it, so I pause the movie, and then my phone's like on battery saver, so it will, go to sleep after a minute. So I have to turn it back on. It's a whole to do, but
yeah, that's why there's that thing behind me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the same thing. I would still pause it. It doesn't change how it affects me. But I did watch Conquest of the Planet of the Apes today.
Yeah, that would be a thing where like I'm really good at just like I can hear a movie and know what's going on.
That's good. I can't do that anymore.
It's the worst thing because my wife watches Criminal Minds every night, and for the first 2 hours while I'm trying to sleep, all I hear is Criminal Minds, and I like dreaming about like not life stuff, but it's too realistic, and like I'm imagining the episode because I've seen each episode about 4 times now because every time she finishes the show, she restarts it literally the same day, and so I've watched it probably 5-6 times, and like 4 of that is in the last year because she hasn't taken a break. So yeah, like I can picture it normal, and I hate that. I hate that because I like my dreams to be able to just go off and I like go slay a dragon or I'm flying a spaceship or whatever it is that I got going on that's not real life. And yeah, murdering on planet Earth is too much real life. And then she'll fall asleep, and she won't turn the TV off. So I have the remotes on my side of the bed. So as soon as I like, if Netflix like it does its thing where it's like, are you still watching? As soon as that starts, I can hear that the TV is on, even if I'm in the middle of a dream. I go up and I look to see if she's awake. I turn it off and then go to sleep, and then I dream like a normal person again.
My wife and I just watch old episodes of The Simpsons every night, ones we've seen hundreds of times, and then I'll just put a sleep timer on. And you're usually asleep before the sleep timer goes off, but usually the sleep timer doesn't bother us at all.
Yeah, no, So I could totally just like be listening to Star Wars because there's only 12 movies, and then I gotta just read. Now I'm gonna have to actually like watch like real movies because I'm in the Onto Geek team thing.
Watch real movies, buddy.
Yeah, which makes me really sad because
no, get over it.
Yeah, some of them I don't. There's some of them that are so bad. Like I wish a fan league had like a Star Wars league.
No, they would never do that. It'd be too hard.
I know, like
I mean, Jote had a Star Wars league for a hot second.
Yep, I know.
I never got to play in that one. I wanted to, but I never got to.
Yeah, like I wish so bad that was the case because it would be great.
Yeah, C-Dubs couldn't keep it going.
Yep, but okay. So speaking of fandom, we got the multiplex Fun Time Award Show. Which so you're gonna have to tell me who some of these people are because I have no idea. The first award that they announced on the video, I screenshotted all the.
Oh, you did.
I screenshotted every single one, but there are some that don't have the names for some reason. Like some of them, most of them have the names underneath the person's face.
Yeah, some of the teams just have the teams.
Well, yeah, but at least they have the name in the team, which I'm like, I got that. But there's some of them where it's just like, it assumes, hey, you know these people, you've seen.
Yeah, they're like, if you're watching this, you probably know who these people are, which makes sense because it was just like a random video at 1:00 today in the middle of the day. Why wouldn't you know them?
Yeah, like the one for Player of the Year, I'm like, I don't know who half these people are, so you're definitely gonna have to tell me.
Okay, I can definitely
because it doesn't have any of their names, so I know like half of them. So okay, first award is for Fandom Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
The first nominee is Tyler Birch.
Yep.
The second nominee is Matthew Chin.
Yep.
Third nominee is Brittany Tapley. The fourth nominee is Jake Meltzer. And then the fifth nominee is some scrub.
Yep. There's no shot to win.
Oh, okay. Really?
I'm joking.
Oh, I was like, that's who I'm. Like, if they had like a thing where like Showdown does, where people can vote on it, I would just be like voting for you or Jake or.
No, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm going to win this one. And the reason I'm going to win this one is because I made it farther in the tournament than everybody on this list except Jake. We made it the same amount. Jake and I were team champions, so we cancel each other out there. And I'm going to be in the 5-way number one contender match. And I was 4-1 in singles. And I'm the fourth most accurate person in fandom right now behind Nick Tuig, Scully, and Joe.
Yeah.
I honestly think this award is mine.
Yes.
I don't like to say that. It makes me feel dirty saying it, but I think that's the case. I don't think anybody else has a real shot. The only person who has the other shot to it is Jake because we're on the same team.
Yeah, like there are several of these awards where I'm like, this is Robert's award.
Yeah, we'll go through that, but I'll tell you which ones I definitely think are mine and which ones aren't.
Or this is Bill's award.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, like, or, we talked today, I think this is Anthony's award, and I don't.
Oh, he's not winning that award. We'll talk about it, but he's not winning it. But they won't let him win it. Yeah,
so Robert Kastner for Fandom Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think that's a done deal almost.
Okay, Warzone Rookie of the Year. Some scrub.
Yeah, I don't know how I got on this list, but I did.
Tony Durzo.
Yep.
Kaiser Wong.
Yeah.
David Nishimoto, and then Payson Johnson.
Yes. There's one key thing about all these people. They were all in the same faction when they played last year. Now, they're not all in the same faction this year because Payson is no longer with us.
Yeah, he
jumped to the Kingsmen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because he was in that cool video at the end of Game of Factions where they basically tried to smite us with words. Didn't do so successfully. I thought it was pretty lame, but it happened.
Yeah, it was him and Spence, right?
Him and Spence. Yeah, they both left us to go to Kingsman. I wish them nothing but wellness, but I don't think it's going to do wonders for them.
All right. So who do you think?
So in the faction, I don't have a shot at this one just because I didn't do as well as people. It's really between David and Payson because they were Ginyu Force as a team that won 2 tournaments and had the belts. So it's David or Payson, and I think David wins just because he made it farther in the Warzone tournament at the end of the year. So I actually think it's David.
Yeah, and I don't have an opinion on this one because I only
You
know.
don't watch Warzone.
Nope, I do not watch Warzone.
Yeah.
I only know you.
Yeah.
I've been in a call with Kaiser before, and that's all I got.
Kaiser's a cool dude. Tony's a cool dude. David's a cool dude. Payson's a cool dude. They're all cool dudes, myself excluded. But I get to hang around with cool dudes, so it's cool. Yeah, I think it's David.
Also,
is anybody putting? Do we still have people following us live, or people making notes about anything, or no?
I do not believe so.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just continue that. I just didn't know if anybody had an opinion.
So there's one thing with this video that I think. Wait, we'll get to it eventually. I think. Nope, it's not. All right, Warzone Rookie Team of the Year.
See, we're not doing all of these then.
Are we not?
Because the next one is technically Fan Zone, which is the debate one.
Oh yeah. I didn't even work. Nope.
Okay.
Didn't screenshot that one because I was like, I don't.
So just very quickly, just for posterity's sake, it's Kurt Kolakowski, who's a multiplex guy from Pittsburgh. If you don't know him, he was very big, running full metal. He had a match versus Nick Tuig. I don't know how most of these matches went. I know how some of them did. Then Kirk had a match against Schmodown Pro Jacoby Bancroft, because when you're a Schmodown person, you can still do debate leagues. Nazario, if you don't know Nazario, he's a Spanish guy. He plays in the Spanish leagues. He's part of Blockbuster Video or Hollywood Video, depending on which day you're watching that. He played Ryan O'Regan, who's the guy who's around doing debate stuff. Kirk played Nazario in a great #1 contender, or in a title match. And then Kirk played Robert the Spider Parker, because again, if you're a Schmodown person, you can still do debate. I don't have an opinion on this one. I mean, I think the winner is probably Kirk versus... It's probably Kirk versus Jacoby, I think was the best match. I don't know how the Nazario Parker match went. I think it was like crazy because they're total opposites of people. But Fan Zone, for everybody who doesn't know, is the debate league where they do Warzone and they do fandom categories and they debate between both. That's what that is.
Okay. Yep. So Warzone Rookie Team of the Year. Beat the Geek.
Beat the Geeks, which is Brittany Tapley and Ryan Payne.
Yep. I know that one because the only reason why I'm teamed up with Ryan is because they made that rule where no one in the top 10 can team with anyone else in the top 10.
Yep.
Because he would have been teamed up with her, and then you would have been teamed up with Antonio.
Probably.
Yep. So me and Jake are just out in the cold.
Yeah, you both be out in the cold. Don't know what you would do.
I know what I would do.
Not play.
Not watch crappy movies. That's what I would be doing.
Okay.
I mean, some of these movies that I'm going to have to watch definitely are worse than than Rise of Skywalker, and that's saying a lot. I'm going to have to watch Battle of the Five Armies again.
Yep.
And I hate it. I hate that I also say this stuff on a live show because someday someone's going to give us Middle Earth and I'm going to get a Battle of the Five Armies. But hey, that's why Ryan's here. He can do that.
Okay. I believe in you.
Okay.
So by the way, I never saw the Beat the Geeks, their logo.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like it. With the Avengers and the Thor hammer and the Superman logo. It's kind of nice. Bullets Over Broadway, which is Andrew Barr and Kurt Kolakowski, who are a really good team, obviously, because they're really good at general movies. Ginyu Force, which is David and Payson from my... who used to be in the faction, who played in the faction in 2021, who, like I said, won 2 tournaments, played Wild Stallions for a title and then beat Wild Stallions for a title. And they lost the title to the next team, Kumite, who is Jake and Bill.
Yep.
And then Time Shift is Tony and Kaiser, who were both Warzone Rookie of the Year candidates as well. This one's probably between Ginyu and Kumite, and I bet Ginyu gets it because Payson, is in the Kingsman now, and I think sometimes that does play a factor into it beyond just basic results. And they did win 2 tournaments and did win the belt against a really hard team. Kumite would be close because of the run they went on to win the Turmoil and to win the belts, and people love Bill. So those would be the 2. I think it's Ginyu's though to lose.
Yeah. So yeah, I say Kumite.
Well, yeah, because you don't know Ginyu that well.
Yeah, no, and also I just like Bill and Jake as individuals.
I understand.
Yeah, so they're pretty cool. I mean, minus Jake's entire fascination with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but
Awesome.
and I am gonna keep on bringing that up until he comes on the show. So, Jake Meltzer, come on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can try to get him, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he usually works and stuff, so it's not really.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I'll like the 4 people who watch this show. What
we get a lot. We get way more views than that now.
Yeah, especially since we've been live. It's great. Yeah, we get a bunch of bots because now that you've said that, that's probably what it is. We've got like 4 comments.
Summon them.
Yep.
Yeah, if you say it, they will come.
Yep. All right. So Fandom Rookie Team of the Year.
Yep.
Beat the Geek.
Yep.
Dummies.
Yep, which is Jake and I.
Guns and Ships.
Which is Caleb Boatman and Albert Wardahama, who are great. They went to the finals in the last tournament and lost to Knights of Ren. And they challenged for a title earlier in the year. So they're really good.
And then I have no idea. They're a face with an explosion.
That's it's funny because you mentioned it. Give me a second because I forget what their name is.
And then License to Chill. See? Yep.
That's the Manhattan Project. And that's Caleb Coho and Thomas Scully. I knew who was in it. I just couldn't remember what their name was for some reason.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Now the emblem.
Yep. Yeah, that's a pretty cool emblem, given that. And then License to Chill, which is Tyler Beutler and Mark Menchaca.
Yes.
Yeah.
I obviously think it's Dummies.
It should be us because we're the only ones who won a title, and we won against the most dominant team in Fan League history. So I think it's ours to lose. You could make an argument for Guns and Ships because of how consistent they were, but we only have 1 loss since against Knights of Ren. So I think it's us. I don't think it's that close.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
License to Chill also kind of has a thing because they made it pretty far in the tournament. They made the number 1 contender match against us, and we're 1 question away from going to the title. Blah blah blah. But it's us. I think it's us.
Okay. Fandom Comeback Player of the Year, and Tyler Beutler.
Yep.
Mike Hanley.
Yep.
Cameron Holtzman.
Yeah.
Holtzman. Albert
Wardahama.
And Nazario Montenegro.
Yep. So I don't know, even though I've been in Fandom all year, I don't really know kind of what they were coming back from or like what their records were prior to this. Mike Hanley's the funny one because he KO'd Andrew James Barr, who is the Warzone champion forever in Fandom. It's one of those moments of the year, which is almost going to win. My guess here would probably be Albert because he was down a bit and then he made it to this 5-way and has looked fairly dominant since then. It could also be Holtzman because Holtzman made the semifinals, beat Jake in that tournament, made the semifinals and played Tim. It was fairly good in that game. And then Lights, Camera, and Action as a Fandom team were fairly good, mostly on his back. So I think it's between Holtzman and Albert.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Holtzman.
Yeah.
Entire time, like, yeah, that's who I was thinking. But
It's probably going to be Holtzman. I said Albert because I know a lot of people like him and he's very underrated. But Holtzman probably makes a lot of sense in this case.
Okay. Warzone comeback player of the year.
Yes.
Tyler Butler.
Yep.
Bill, and I'm going to put Cariola. Jake Meltzer, Cameron Redshaw, and then Ryan Payne.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be Jake, right? Because he won the title.
Jake doesn't understand why he's in it because he was only just 2-1 last year. So he's like, what did I come back from? I don't think I was that bad. I was like, yeah, I understand that. That makes sense. My money's on Bill just because of like Bill was very close to being like a retirement person. And then he came all the way back and won a team's title. And he's very well liked and beloved in the league. So my money would be on him. But Redshaw had a great year. He won the tournament. He played for the title. He was good in teams. Well, sort of with Boatman. They kind of underachieved, but he really came back and was great as a singles player. So I could see either Bill or Redshaw. I'm actually going to go with Bill. I understand what you're saying about Jake. Jake was, if they just go on pure numbers, it's probably Jake because he won 2 belts. But I'm gonna give it to Bill for storyline purposes.
Okay. Yeah, and Bill's hilarious. So
Bill's the man.
Yep. Upset of the year.
Yeah.
Dummies beat Knights of Ren.
Yep.
I have no idea what Geeks beat DI means.
Geeks beat in Warzone the Brittany and Ryan beat Double Indemnity, which was Boatman and Redshaw, which was a huge upset at the time. It never should have happened, but it happened. So that's what that is.
Dylan beats Kirk.
Yeah, Dylan Vanthan beat Kirk in the tournament in the first round. That was a huge seeded upset.
Okay, RJ beats Parker, which I assume that's in fan.
That's in fan zone.
Yep. And then Tyler Birch beats Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler Birch beat Tyler Butler to get to this 5-way we're gonna do here shortly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it has to be Dummies beats.
Yeah, I would say this is almost a lock. It was also in a title match, which means a lot more than all these other ones. So I would almost say it's like 90% it's us, unless they just don't want to give it to us. But I think it's us upsetting Ren.
Yep, I agree. Warzone team of the year. Bullets Over Broadway,
which are Kirk and Barr, as mentioned.
The Clash
at Demon Head, which is a Scott Pilgrim versus the World reference, which is Coho and damn it, I can't remember who's in that. Hold on, give me a second. Keep vamping with the other ones, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, Ginyu Force, which I love that reference. Dragon Ball Z, yeah. Then the Wild Stallions, and then Kumite.
Yeah, Clash of Demon Head is Coho and Holtzman because they really love Edgar Wright and love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That's what that's about. Ginyu, which we talked about for Warzone Rookie of the Year, Team of the Year. Kumite, which we've also talked about for Rookie Team of the Year. And then Wild Stallions, which is Joseph Olivas and Brian Michaels, who are beat the concept, which was Michael Campbell and Jake Marangoni. And then they defended the belts against Ginyu, and then they lost the belts to Ginyu.
All right. Yeah.
This is an interesting one. It's to me, it's really between Ginyu, Stallions, and Kumite because they were all champions. I think they might give this one to Ginyu too because they won 2 tournaments. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Stallions because they won and defended the belt, and the other 2 teams didn't. Kumite hasn't had a chance to defend yet, but they couldn't in 2021. So I would say Ginyu, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Stallions.
So obviously, I assume they will release these awards as they, as they showed them in the video. Because if they don't, if Ginyu Force wins Warzone Team of the Year, then isn't it technically a spoiler for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, they'll probably build up to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be in this order per se, but yeah, I don't think the larger awards, which are the less broken down category awards, the more overarching awards, the macro awards, will be later on in the evening, I bet.
Yeah.
But I have no concept of this. I never watched one of these awards. It's only the third one they've done.
Yeah, and I also have never watched any of this ever before.
No.
Like, nope. I watched the Showdown Awards, and that's it. I'll watch the Oscars every once in a while. Like, I think the last one of those I actually watched was, man, it's actually been a really long time. When was The Theory of Everything?
2015 year, because it was 2014.
Yeah. Because I watched that because I think that's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
The Theory of Everything?
Dude, it's so good. So as a person,
Michael Keaton should have won for Birdman. I don't care.
Yeah, and I was about to say, everyone says that.
Yes.
Because so many people were like, he should win because he's not won one, and he might not ever win one. And
He won't now. It's done. They stole Eddie Redmayne stole that from him.
But I was like, that as a person who I love science, and I think Stephen Hawking is just the best. That movie was so good, and
yeah. And
Yep.
then he got nominated the next year for The Danish Girl. Eddie Redmayne did, or whatever.
So. Yeah, I remember watching that movie, and I did not like Charlie Cox. Like, as a person, I was like, hey, don't be doing that. That's his wife. And, which I knew, that happened in real life, obviously. So I knew that, but watching the movie, I'm like, hey, stop that. And it's just like when we were talking about Book of Boba Fett last week, where I was concerned that for Boba's life, even knowing that he makes it to the future, because we've seen future events. It's the same way. I'm like, hey, don't be doing that. No, that's Stephen Hawking's wife. Stop that. And I knew it was a real thing in real life, but any movie that or anything that takes me out of reality for a few minutes where I'm not thinking about stuff, even though I know it in real life, is great for me. And I love it. Yep. But yeah, so I don't have an opinion on Warzone Team of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trust me, I think it'll be between Stallions and you.
Fandom Team of the Year. Dummy. Guns and Ships.
Yep.
Knights of Ren.
Which are Nick Tuig and Tim Bracala, if you didn't know that, everybody.
Yeah. Wookiee Mistake.
Yep. Which is Joe Fairley and David Garcia.
And then Licensed to Chill.
Which is Tyler and Mark.
Yeah.
Here's a probably unpopular opinion. I think if we would have beat Knights of Ren the second time, I think we probably would have been the odds-on favorite to win Team of the Year. But I think Knights of Ren has this basically locked up.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
They won so many matches in a row, then they had our hiccup, and then they blazed through the tournament and they knocked us out. So I think it's theirs, and I don't think it's particularly close. It's their last time, potentially, that they'll ever have an opportunity to win an award like this. So I think they'll probably just get it, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I agree.
We would be second though.
Yes, you absolutely.
Or Wookiee, because Wookiee won a few tournaments, but they never won the title. So I think we would be second, but I think it's Knights of Ren to lose.
Have there only ever been the 2 champions in Fandom teams?
No, they played before. They had Arkham Knights, which was Robert Parker and Tim. They had
Okay.
What our experiences with it.
Okay. Alrighty. Fan Zone Player of the Year.
Yep. Again, this is the debate one.
Yeah. Kirk, and you pronounce his last name.
Kolakowski.
Yep. Nazario Montenegro.
Yep.
Amaru Moses, and then Nick Tuig.
I think this is Kirk's because he was the last. He went through the tournament, won it, and defended it. I don't think it really could be anybody else. honestly. I mean, Amaru got to the finals of the tournament against Kirk. Nazario played Kirk in the finals. I don't know where Fanzone. I wasn't really paying attention to it prior to like the halfway point of last year, so I don't really know what Nick was doing in terms of his Fanzone career. But I think it's Kirk's to lose.
Yep. I don't have an opinion on that one either. Will say, I do appreciate that they keep the pitchers consistent.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like mine because mine doesn't stay in the box, but I understand.
Yeah, so I appreciate that for the sake of that, but yeah, that's all I got. Manager of the year.
Yep.
Ethan Beller.
Yep.
Caleb Coho. Cody Newberry, and then Anthony Tisdale.
Which are the 4 managers who managed last year. So Anthony will tell you he got it by default, which is true, but he would say he would not get it. He's probably not going to win it because he's not an insider person. But if you look at like how factions did as a rookie faction, and we technically won 4 belts, Dummies won, Ginyu won, Kumite won off Ginyu, and then Jake won, along with Jake winning the manager bowl and winning the free-for-all, and then Kumite winning Turmoil. If you go by results, Anthony has a claim.
That's why I think Anthony's going to win.
He's not going to win it. They're not going to give
it. I mean, I don't think he will, but he should.
He definitely has a claim to it. He would say he doesn't, but I say he does. I think it'll go to Cody because it was his last year, and Cody managed Concept, who had the titles at the beginning for Warzone, and he managed Knights of Ren forever, and Nick for as champions. So I think it'll probably be Cody, but the only person I don't think it could be is Ethan, and that's nothing against Ethan because he did manage Stallions. I just don't think he did, and Bar, he did manage Bar too, but nothing against Ethan. I just don't think they would give it to him either. It's really between Coho and Newberry and Cody, honestly. And Kingsman didn't win anything, so I'll give it to Cody because it's also his last opportunity to win it too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Holy crap, we got a lot. All right, so we're gonna have to. Fandom Player of the Year. Tim Barkala.
Yep.
Robert Kastner.
Yeah, I don't know how I made this list, but okay.
Joe Farrelly, Nick Tuhig, and then Thomas Scully.
Yeah, I don't know how I made this list, but I'm on it.
I assume because it's just general player of the year and you won a belt.
Okay. I was also 4-1 in singles,
Yeah. And you're in the number 1 contender match.
Yeah, I'm also the number 1 contender person.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I took that screenshot of that fandom ranking thing because it will never happen like this again. And I just want to keep it.
I know, that's one of the unfortunate things. I know, Nico used to do the spreadsheets with all
who had every belt in every league. Yeah.
Yeah. And he stopped doing that, and I hated that because I never got to see your name on one of those papers.
Well, sorry to tell you.
I know.
I would have been on a paper for 2 months or whatever.
That would have still. I know he's quit trivia and he's doing professional wrestling now, so go rock that, Nico. But that's stuff that I'm like, ooh, I wish we'd been able to see.
Yeah, of this, I would say I'm 5 of 5. 5 of the 5. I mean, Joe didn't win a belt, but Joe won 2 tournaments or whatever, and he lost to Scully in the quarters, where I lost to Tyler Butler, which is his was much more understandable. It's probably Nick. It's probably Nick. I think Scully might have a groundswell because he played in a lot of titles, and technically he should have won the title at the end, but he forgot Jade Palace for Kung Fu Panda, and that's the only reason Nick won, because Nick did know that. But it's Nick. Let's be clear. It's Nick.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be nominated. That's one I'm very happy to be nominated.
Okay, Warzone Player of the Year. Andrew Barr, Caleb Boatman, Jake Meltzer, Joseph.
All of us.
Yep. And then David Nishimoto.
Yep. So we had 2 faction people in it, which made me happy. I think so. This can go a lot of different ways. I think this is actually the hardest one to pick. because Barr was like defended 3 or 4 times over the year and beat Boatman twice before he lost to Joseph at the end. So you can make the case that Barr should have it because of that. And Bullets Over Broadway was pretty good. Boatman had the title and did lose it, but he did make it. He did play in a lot of number 1 contender matches. His team record's not that good though, so I don't think it'd be him. Jake, his record was a little bit up and down just based off like what happened in tournaments and whatnot, but he does have 2 of the belt. He does have the 2 Warzone belts right now. Joseph went pretty far in the tournament, had a great match he beat me and then had a great. What happened? Can you not hear me?
No, yeah, you flashed out for a second.
Oh, sorry. What was the last thing you heard me say?
You were midway through talking about Joseph.
Oh, yeah, no, that was it. I hadn't got past that yet. No, so Joseph had a great match against Boatman, which we'll talk about because it's one of the categories coming up. He won the title and then immediately lost to Jake. Stallions obviously won the title. And then David was part of the team's champion, won a couple teams tournaments, went to the semis in the Warzone tournament, I think. So this one's like the hardest one. I'm going to give it to Jake because he won both belts. But if they gave it to Barr or they gave it to Joseph, I wouldn't be surprised there either. It would be Jake and then Barr right underneath him if you ask me.
Okay, I was going to say Jake for the same rationale that he ended the season with 2 belts.
Yeah.
And
he also won the Manager Bowl and all, he did all those things.
Yep.
And Turmoil, and he won Turmoil with Bill.
Yep.
So I think his team prowess over the others is why. Or, sorry, his team prowess over Boatman and Barr, and then his singles prowess over, because he beat Joseph for the title, and Kumite beat, and he had a better singles situation than David did, because Jake won the singles belt. So I would say Jake, but it's very close.
Yep. So, Warzone match of the year: Boatman versus
Joseph, which I just mentioned.
Boatman versus Redshaw,
which was the number 1 contender match, I think, which was great. Stallions versus
Concept.
The Concept of Being a Hamburger 3, which was a great match. If you go back and watch that one, it's wonderful.
Barr versus
Boatman 2.
Yeah.
The second time they played for the title, and Barr defended the second time, which Barr pulled that out by the skin of his teeth by like a Lavender Mob Hill Gang reference, which is an early Audrey Hepburn movie. Crazy. And then Barr versus Joseph at the end of the year in the final chapter or the final order or whatever it is. I honestly don't know. My guess would probably be, I might say Barr versus Boatman too. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was Stallions versus Concept. That match was crazy. The Boatman Joseph match was crazy, but it didn't have a title implication. Neither did Boatman and Redshaw. So I think it has to be one of the ones that has a title implication, and I'll take Barr and Boatman too.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on this because I don't watch Warzone. Again, like I do not watch singles really, unless I know, like the Showdown I will, or if I know the people in it. So like, I don't know any of the people that are in any of these matches, so have never had a reason to watch it. So, I mean, I know.
I think so. This is an unpopular thing, and I know you're a dad and you have kids and all these other things, but I think sometimes you should expand out just to see, because these matches are good and they're exciting. I know they don't have Schmodown stakes, but they're still good.
Yeah.
So give one a try one time that doesn't include me, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Or so not you, not Anthony, not Bill or Jake.
Yeah, give one of those a shot.
So anyone who's not in Fun DMC. Okay.
Yes. You could even do like a Ryan match. You could do that Beat the Geeks versus Double Indemnity match.
I could.
There's a lot of geek questions in that, which is the reason why they won. But I digress.
All right. Yeah. I mean, and I could just watch Ryan because he's my teammate.
Yeah. There you go. I think that's your in to watch things that don't involve Fun DMC.
Yep.
We got 2 more categories, I believe.
Yes. Yes, we do. Fandom match of the year.
Yep.
I have no idea what these initials mean.
That's Bounty Hunters Anonymous, which is Jake Marangoni and Antonio, versus License to Chill, which is or Lights, Camera, and Action. Sorry, which is Redshaw Holtzman. That was a really good match, but again, not a lot of stakes in it. It was a tournament match, but not a lot of. It was like a first round match.
And then Tuhig versus Scully 3.
The third time they played. I don't remember how that match went, but it was close-ish.
Scully versus Tim 2.
Yeah, which was, I think, the tournament final, I think is what that one is, if I remember correctly.
And then Tuhig versus Tim versus Scully.
Yep, which was the end of the year match, that triple threat match, which was great. I mean, Tim wasn't really in that match. It was mostly a Nick versus Scully thing, but it was still interesting, and it had a lot of drama as it being the last match for Tim and Nick, potentially in Fandom singles forever.
Yep, and then Dummies versus Knights of Ren.
Yes. So this one, I think it's probably between the 3-way and our teams match.
Yep.
If I guess. And if you do by storyline, it's the 3-way match. But if you do by the actual match, considering the records that we broke, it's ours. So I would say us because I'm selfish and self-involved, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was the 3-way match.
Yeah. I would also say you guys.
If we win upset of the year, which I think we will, I think that speaks. If we don't win upset of the year, we won't win Fandom match. That's what I'll say. But if we do, then there's a decent shot we win the Fandom match of the year.
Yeah, and now I will say the end of the triple threat match with both of them retiring is a big thing. And it also is, like a big thing that I don't want to say that they may choose their own match because it's their last potential match. As
they're only part of the committee, and I don't even know how much of the committee they are.
Yeah, but they might. And
they might not even be on it because they're retired. I don't know how it works, honestly. But I mean, that's their our match versus them is also their match too. Yeah. So I guess you could look at it from either side. I don't think it's going to be. I think BHA versus LCA is out because it's a tournament match. The other ones all have title implications, I think, for the most part. So it's going to be one of those.
Yep.
So I'm going with Dummies and Red again. Selfish, self-involved, me.
And then the last one, Player of the Year.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
And this has no names on it, so I'm gonna have to pull this out of my butt.
Okay, let's see if it's
good. Andrew Barr.
Yep.
Caleb Boatman.
Yep.
Tim Berkala.
Yep.
A Goober.
Me. Yes.
Yeah. Kurt Kola. Yep.
Kolakowski.
Yep. Jake Meltzer.
Yep.
Joseph.
All of us. Yes.
Yep. Redshaw.
Yes.
And Nick Tuhig.
Yes.
And I got all 100% of that right, except
good job, buddy.
That I could not pronounce, and I'm not going to butcher anyone's last name. I just refuse.
So I watched this when it came up, and I was shocked. For me, I was like, "Oh my god, I made this list! That's incredible!" I was so excited. You've no idea.
I think it's got to be Jake.
Jake, if you go by pure numbers, because Jake won 3 or 4 belts, it should be Jake.
Yep.
Jake was the best. Him, Boatman, and Redshaw were the best. Well, sorry. Jake and Boatman were the best. Redshaw would say he wasn't very good in Fandom. He's better than he says he is. But Jake and Boatman were the 2 best crossover players from Warzone to Fandom. I wasn't bad, but I didn't obviously reach the heights that Jake did in Warzone. And then you go between like, were Barr's highs and like, did they trump everybody else's highs despite his Fandom lows? Were Nick's Fandom highs, which were uber high, better than? So you have to look at it kind of those ways. But I think it's Jake.
I also think it's Jake.
Yeah. You could tell me it was Barr. You could tell me it was Redshaw because of what happened. You could tell me it was Boatman. Kirk had a good Warzone situation, and he's the fan zone champion, so you could make that case too. But I think it's Jake just based on numbers. Jake would tell you he doesn't think he'll win it because they don't think they would give it to him because they don't like him. But I think if you keep it pure and honest, it's him.
Hey,
I don't think I'm the worst candidate, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you are like.
I think I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I was gonna say like number 2 or 3.
I am not 2 or 3. No, I can't be.
I think it's maybe number 4. I think
I'm like 4 or 5.
I think it's Jake, Nick, then either you or Boatman.
It could be Barr too, because again, he defended Warzone singles title like 4 times.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I take into account like since it is overall player of the year. That's the reason why like same thing. Like I put Mike Kalinowski as the Showdown player of the year because he played in 3 divisions.
Yeah,
I think that anyone who did not play well in both the divisions is immediately like. So you might even be higher than Nick in my opinion.
I could be because my Warzone was, but his fandom was so high.
Yeah.
But granted, I only lost 2 fandom matches.
Yeah.
And one was to him. So, I mean, you can look at it a lot of different ways. I don't think I'm the worst, is the point. And that makes me feel happy. I think if it was the Heisman, you might not get this reference. If it was a Heisman voting, I think I would get an invite to New York. I don't think I would be at home. I think I would get an invite to New York. I think I would be allowed to parade around New York City, especially if it was pre-COVID. And I think I would have to wear a nice suit and I get to be in the green room. I would not get to make a speech, obviously, because I wouldn't win it, but I would get to be there. And that would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. And that's it. Those are the...
Yep, those are the things.
Those are the awards. I got nominated 8 times. I think that's the most.
Good. And I'm trying to remember. You'll win at least.
I think I'll win at least 3. I think 4 is definitely possible. And then everything after that's a little bit iffy. Because I'm not going to win Player of the Year. I'm not going to win Fandom Player of the Year. We're not going to win Team of the Year. So that leaves the 5 others. Yeah. So I can win Rookie of the Year. We can win Rookie Team of the Year. We can win Upset of the Year. We can win Fandom Match of the Year. And then I forget what the other one was. Rookie. Oh, I can't win Warzone Rookie of the Year. So those are the 4. I can win 4. That's what it is.
And then if Anthony wins, he kind of wins on behalf of all of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of counts.
Do not be surprised if Fun DMC, and if you count like Payson and Ginyu as DMC because they were DMC when in 2021, I think DMC will win the most awards. Honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe the First Order, which doesn't exist anymore, but I think DMC might win the most. And I'm excited. That's the most exciting part of everything beyond me winning stuff.
Yep, I understand. And yeah, like according to obviously like when they film that is if you'll be on the show next week.
Yes. I might not be here, people, because I might be accepting things.
Yes, you will,
or at least I'll be in the room and maybe they'll do the thing where they put camera on me so I can make one of those faces, like one of those faces where I'm happy, but I also look upset. I'm like, you know, one of those. I try to play it off, but it's not good.
Yes.
I might wear a suit. I haven't
that would be good.
Yeah. I think I might wear a suit.
Yeah.
I might wear my hat with the suit. I don't know.
Do you have any like trophies or anything?
Yes, I have a thing of trophies. My mom sent me. Like when I went home, she's like, you should get these out of here, but I didn't want to take them, so she UPS'd them all to me. I have this fun movie buff Dinky Award that I won at my office when we did we had like a party at the end of the year, and one of the rooms was a movie trivia room, and I got most of the questions right, so I got that. It's
so
cheap, but I can keep it.
You should take that and put like a Post-it stamp on it, or Post-it or whatever that says whatever award you win, and you just write it real fast and be like, "I accept this award." Blah 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 blah. Yeah,
I could. I know some people are going to use props. I don't know if I want to use props. I might try to make myself cry. See if I can do that.
Okay.
Sometimes I can do it. I just really have to think hard about something sad, but I can do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you watch something really sad?
No, I think about sad things in my life, honestly.
Oh, okay.
So,
like, or like, for the example of like, if I wanted to make myself cry, I have two things in my wallet. Like, my wife got me a thing with the picture of the baby on it, and it says, "This Christmas I'll be cuddled up in mommy's belly, but next Christmas I'll be cuddled up with you. Mom says it's the best." And that line, I always cry, and I'm like, "Yep, that's true."
I could also watch that scene in Coco right before that happens. I'll definitely cry.
Yeah, or that scene where,
or Up. I could watch.
Yeah, I was thinking of as Barney is talking to his dad in Onward, and then
man, that one too.
And then
one of those Pixar ones I could watch and just
like that one. Oh, yeah,
I could. I don't know. We'll see.
But okay, so now that we're done with that, here comes the main event. We got.
Did you say Barney?
I can't remember. Marnie?
No, there's Barley, who's Chris Pratt,
yeah.
and then there's
Yep.
Tom Holland, whose name is escaping me right now, and I feel bad about it. But
yeah,
when Tom Holland's talking to his dad, and he realized that the whole time,
or he's looking, or when Tom Holland's character is looking out there at
Ian Lightfoot.
Yep, and they're looking at like his dad and Marley talking.
Oh, they're dancing and stuff?
Or no, just like when he's looking out and he's under the rubble and he sees his brother and his dad and they're like conversating far away, and then his dad's disappearing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty sad too.
Okay, I got you. Sorry, that's not Ian talking to his dad. That's Ian with the list, and then he's going through the list and realizing that he did things with Bart. Who's kind of like his dad the whole time. That gets me.
Yeah.
I'm even getting choked up thinking about it. Holy crap.
There you go. If you got Disney Plus on your phone, just right before the award, just go to that scene and start listening to it and mute your StreamYard thing and then cry.
Yeah.
Unless you don't win, and then don't.
There's no way I don't win at least one thing. I'm not going to be American Hustle. There's no way.
Yeah.
I might be like La La Land, where I win a couple, but I don't win like the big ones. Or maybe they say I win one of the big ones and then it's false because they read it wrong.
Oh yeah, don't.
That would be fun. I hope that happens. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, don't be Steve Harvey. That would be. If they do something stupid like that.
Well, don't tell me. I'm not reading it. I'm in the crowd. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like if they, because it's been like years, and like even though people still do crap like that,
now 5 years ago.
Make jokes of it, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not necessary.
It is. I still think it's funny, and I still think the right movie won in the end.
Yeah,
I like La La Land, but I think Moonlight is incredible.
But okay, so Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Now last week,
something that's incredible.
Yes, a lot of people are not liking this show, and I don't understand because I think they're
get it.
I think like all the stuff with like I didn't mention last week about Black Chrysanthemum because I didn't want to be like
Black Chrysanthemum.
I didn't know like, hey, if you and Amaru actually knew who that was.
I didn't, but I've seen pictures of him in the comics now.
Yeah, so that's a one part of this episode that I thought was really weird. Like he's like when Boba's talking to him, like as a former bounty hunter, I'm like in the comics, you guys work together.
Yeah.
He would know that you're a former bounty hunter, so you don't have to really say that.
Well, they didn't work together clearly, so it's not canon.
No, yeah, like, but ever since the Disney acquisition, like they've been like everything is canon. So like
that's not true. Not everything is canon.
Yeah, like
they lied to you. Sorry to tell you. They're a multi-billion-dollar, almost trillion-dollar corporation, I bet, and they lied to you.
Yeah, but like everything has so far been canon.
From this point on.
Well, I mean, because like stuff that like now, of course, there's some things like how you see Kanan in Bad Batch, and in the first episode, and how he like there's a comic about how he deals with Order 66, and it's a little different. Like his master has a blue lightsaber instead of a green lightsaber, and like that's just semantics. And I'm just like, well, okay, why? Sure, but and then stuff like that's been changed. But like even like Cobb Vanth getting the armor from the Jawas, that was something that was in a book, and that's in a part of the new canon. So like that the fact that they brought him up in Mandalorian like means they are paying attention to the canon a little bit, but they are like they don't like if they reference their relationship later, then I'll backtrack. But right now, they seem like, hey, they don't know who they're, and they worked very closely together in the comics in the new canon. So I don't know, but yeah, I like the episode. It like I know people are thinking they're like a lot of people are like, oh the street race or the whatever scene is totally not Star Wars. I'm like, have you seen some of the stuff that
I don't know. It reminded me of the chase in Solo a little bit.
Yeah, I was also just thinking of the chase and Attack of the Clones at the once the droid tries to kill Padme.
I think that feels more Star Wars like because it's in the air as opposed to on the ground. But I understand what you're saying. I think it reminds me so much of Solo. It just has more color in it. That's basically it.
Yeah, and yeah, I really like the episode. I hate that there's only 3 more left because like they resolved the Tusken. No, oh yeah, 4. You're right. 4 more episodes left. And they resolved the Tusken Raider storyline. So I hate that all of them are dead.
Makes sense though. I mean, if you live in a Tatooine desert in a grouping, you more than likely all die.
Yeah, like, and now of course, like last week we didn't really talk about it because I didn't want to be like, hey, so you know that place that he went to? No, was it last?
You mean when he went to Tashi Station or whatever?
Yeah, he went to Tashi Station, and then you see the like random people in there that aren't part of the gang that he's going after.
Yeah, were they slaves? I thought they were slaves.
No, they were. It was 2 characters that are you see in the scene in A New Hope. There's a deleted scene that those 2 characters are at Tashi Station when he sees Biggs in a deleted scene.
Oh, yes. I know.
So that's those 2 characters. And that entire scene, I'm like, I understand. Like, you got to go get the swoop bikes. But,
gave us the greatest meme ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. But you had to go into Tashi Station to be like, hey, we'll show this thing that we've never really showed. But also, unless you know what it is, you don't know that it's Tashi Station, and you have no idea who these 2 people are that they're zooming in on.
I didn't know they were
in that deleted scene, and you're like, okay, cool. But yeah, like I hate that the Tuskens died like that.
Yep.
Because now this is twice that they've been wiped out by some stupid nonsense. First it's Anakin, and now
well, I mean, they killed his mother, and he hates sand. It was a conflagration.
Now, granted,
burn them up.
I have always assumed from Attack of the Clones, because she's very like beat up, that they probably also raped her too.
Yeah, I think that's also implied.
Yeah, so I understand why he went banana sandwich, but
Remember what you told me about your mother, the Tusken Raiders? No, don't bring that up out loud, please. Even if it's just us talking, please don't do that.
Yeah, like I don't even know, but I really like the episode. I'm ready to like they resolved the twin storyline. It felt
Fairly
like
yeah, I mean, I didn't. That was a little quick.
yeah, so I think that either they're lying to him.
That's his implication that they are.
And but then they do see the Pike Syndicate at the end of the episode, so I'm like,
fucking Pikes, man.
I'm like, are they actually? Because like, now I'm like, this mayor's a dick.
Robert Rodriguez, you mean?
Yeah,
yeah, he is a dick.
Yeah, and then of course, like,
I like that we spent more time in the present. I know a lot of people don't like that because they like the past, but you know, they got through the past stuff pretty quickly. I like that. I like that he got interrupted from his back to thing by Black Chrysanthemum. Did you know Black Chrysanthemum's name used to be New Baka?
Yeah, I saw where Charles Soule was or not Charles Soule, the original writer of the Darth Vader comic, where he showed up, like he had wrote like New Baka in there, and then they're like, yeah, no. But
Chrysanthemum is a sweet ass name. Like, I want to use that somewhere. I just don't know where, because it kind of sounds like chrysanthemum, but it's more badass.
Yeah, like that's one of those things where I thought he was about to. I really didn't want him to, like, be like, I owe you a life debt now.
Yeah, I'm glad that they just let him run off.
Because like I've heard rumors about some stuff that might happen in the show. But I don't know if you want to hear about that.
I don't. Please don't tell me.
So and also like the Rancor.
Oh my gosh, that was the best part because we got to see Danny Trejo in Star Wars. Honestly, and I was so happy it was him.
And like at first I thought, because like they revealed like a few years ago that the Rancor that Luke kills, I don't remember what its name is, but then they kind of retcon that in the Bad Batch to make it the Rancor that they found. Bad Batch. So I thought, oh, they'll do something and reveal that it's actually this one that is the one that they were talking about years ago. But now I like the fact that he's like, you know, getting attached to this Rancor.
Well, I mean, it's a retread of what happened in The Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's a retread. Did you like the fake out an episode ago or whatever when they puts the dude in the dungeon? You're like, oh crap, Rancor! Like, there's no Rancor down there. He's dead. Yeah. He's just in the dungeon.
But now there is, and like they're like, oh, Danny Trejo's like, it will imprint on the first thing it sees. I'm like, so you have blinded this thing since it was a baby? Because we know it can run around and do stuff, and it's seen the Bad Batch. So, or like previous Rancors have done that. So, like, at what point did that Rancor, who did it imprint on to the point where, you know, they had to give it to a master who then like only made it fight, not do anything else. Like, and that master, you know, cries when his baby dies.
When you heard imprinting, did you think of Twilight? Because I thought of Twilight.
Yes, I immediately thought of that, and I hated it.
Well, they used that term. I also like that we got a reference to Witches of Dathomir.
Yes.
Riding them, because it reminded me of Fallen Order, which I still haven't beaten yet, but I was very happy that we got that reference. It made me smile. I was like, hey, Witches of Dathomir, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that, and also like because Darth Maul is a Dathomirian.
Yep.
So like the fact that like that's one of those things. Like last season, someone asked Ace, I think it was, what race Darth Maul was, and he put Zabrak. And someone I was like, no, he's a Dathomirian Zabrak. Someone challenged that because there's two different races of Zabraks. I was just like, and no one did. And I hate it.
I remember that too. I was like, isn't he Dathomirian?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess Zabrak. Yeah, I get that part, but
yeah, like, so that makes me wonder, like, I don't think there are any witches of Dathomir anymore.
Left? No, they're probably extinct.
Yeah, because I think in Rebels they go to Dathomir and that's where they they find Maul and he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always possible that Kira went and got some because she's running around in the comics post Empire Strikes Back and is doing stuff. So it's possible she has some with her after Maul did whatever he was going to do with her. And that since she survived his passing, spoiler alert, he dies. But yeah, like, so it's an entire thing. Like, I like the episode. I'm glad there's 4 more. I've sworn all week that there was only 3, so now I can tell my boys they have 4 weeks to watch.
Yeah, so they got more time.
They don't have 3 weeks to watch it.
I was watching a review of it, and people had very divisive opinions, kind of like the Matrix Resurrections, where some people loved it and said it was their favorite episode, and some people like, I don't like this at all, and I'm not sure what the show's doing. Mainly based off the cyberpunk. That's why my name is Cyberpunk Tatooine, because they were like cyberpunk people.
Yep.
With Power Rangers Vespas, basically. I like that Stephen Root was in it. I was very excited about that. As the water monger guy.
Yeah.
Upselling water like an asshole. I really like that. The chase was weird, and some people were like, I expected somebody to make a joke out of this, and they didn't. I was like, yeah, I understand.
And it was like every single major cliche.
We just didn't get a Wilhelm scream. That was the only thing we missed.
Yeah, like I was watching it and was thinking, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've seen all of these things in the Fast and the Furious movies, and that's not a good thing.
It could be depending on who you are, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like I can't stand those movies. But yeah, I was like, so I mean, I liked it. Like it ended well. Like
it's my favorite episode. I like the flashbacks, but I want to know more about him trying this push and pull of, like, we talked about it, of him trying to take advice from Fennec and them two trying to figure out how to be a daimyo family. Like the part where he's sitting there is like, that's enough food, because they're used to feeding Jabba the Hutt and Bib Fortuna. And she's like, just eat, man. Like, come on, just enjoy the fruits of your labor. He's like, no, can't do that yet. I just like their back and forth. I like how they're trying to figure it out on the fly. I do wish the twin storyline had extended an episode or two, but there's a point, right? So now we think that the Pikes are involved with all this stuff, but I still think there's another underlying entity out there that's causing problems that hasn't been revealed yet. So we'll see what that turns out. But
yeah,
this is my favorite episode, I think.
Yeah, and like my entire thought at the beginning of the show was that he was going to like align himself with all the crime families and bring we
still haven't had that scene yet from the trailer where he does that.
Yeah, so like I'm wondering now if this will get a second season and we'll see more of that later.
I don't know how it doesn't get a second season unless like the critic reference on it is so bad and the audience reference to it is so bad. I don't see how they don't do a second season.
Yeah, like, so I think the twins will come back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
we might go to Hutta.
Yeah, and we obviously have all the Pike stuff going down. So yeah, like I don't mind. Like let's see all the other factions that we know about, and like we can see people like Bosk and IG-88 and like other bounty hunters. Like I
want to know more about Trandoshans, man.
Yeah, like now I will say,
what's the other one they mentioned? Like what's the other family they met? I can't remember what they were called. when they were going through the territories. They're like the Galulians or whatever they are. I couldn't remember what they're called. Do you remember what they're called?
No.
Okay. Because they were like, the Trandoshans have this, and the other people have this, and then this third people have it. I was like, I've never heard that name of a group before. I'm really curious who they are. I can't remember who it is. I feel bad.
Yeah, and of course, like, now they may not, like, this is another thing, like, I know they have their interlocked properties. Like, the Bad Batch is getting a season 2, and I assume Cad Bane is going to show up in that. But I've also assumed that Boba was going to show up in season 1. So, like, the fact that Cad Bane was in season 1 might mean he'll be in season 2, which means, like, unless he dies in season 2, we might see him eventually in the Book of Boba Fett, because they have a relationship. Like, he's the reason why Boba has the dent in his helmet, and Boba's the reason why he has the metal plate on his head. So, like, yeah, like, that could be a character that we see if in the future as well. But
so the Trandoshans had the city center, the Aqualish had the workers district, and the Klatooinians.
Oh, okay.
Got the docks. Do you know about the Klatooinians?
Nope.
They're the bulldog men, is how they're described. The Trandoshans are described in this thing I have as the lizard men, the Aqualish are the bug men, and the Klatooinians are the bulldog men. I want to learn about them. I have no concept of them whatsoever. Let's go. Aqualish and Klatooinians and Trandoshans. Let's go.
Like, I really wonder, do you think Boba will leave
Tatooine
at all this season?
No.
Yeah, I don't either, which is the reason why I think if the twins are going to come back, it will be next season.
Okay.
Because I think he'll leave Tatooine.
He can't really leave. If he leaves, it sort of ruins the stake for his his claim of being the daimyo there, right?
Right.
Maybe he sends somebody else. Maybe he sends Fennec somewhere, and maybe we get her going somewhere, potentially. But I don't think he would want her to leave as his right-hand person, so I'm not sure. He's definitely not leaving Tatooine. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, I don't think anytime soon, because I know they're trying to build up this entire, like, Grand Admiral Thrawn coming back and doing his thing. Like, I think that's what they're going to build to, and I think, like, the crime syndicate part of that will be Boba, so he will eventually have to leave, and Ahsoka will, and then there'll be the New Republic, which I don't know what they're going to do with the New Republic, because Cara Dune's not going to be a thing unless they recast her, and if they do recast her, Twitter's going to go insane because.
Oh my god! Yeah, they won't do that.
But they can't not recast her. Like, she's supposed. That's the reason why they canceled Rangers of the New Republic, because she was going to be the main star of that show. So, like, and no one cares about any of the other New Republic people, because we know, like, Han's not really with them for very long. Like, he goes back to his smuggling, and Leia, I don't think they'll do anything with, because Carrie Fisher's passed, and then Luke's off doing his Jedi thing. So, like, we don't have any, like, main characters that could be New Republic people.
No.
But we introduced the one, and then she decided to go do all that, and things happen. Like, yeah, I don't.
Don't you hate when real life impinges on art?
Yep, I sure do. And
you can reference real life in art, and that's definitely fine. That's the basis of what people do with art. But when the other side impacts that and takes away from it, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I kind of hate that Johnny Depp got recast as Grindelwald. But I know Mads Mikkelsen will do a great job. So if they find someone to recast as Cara Dune, like, I know people have said, Lucy Lawless could do it. If they, like, she would be great. She's a little old. Yeah, but that would be great. Like, she's a great actress, and it would immediately take the sting off of the situation. But yeah, like, unless they decide to just be like, hey, let's reintroduce Hera into this, and then hey, only people who have watched the cartoon will understand who this Twi'lek is. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an entire thing, though.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm excited for next week's episode. It's going to be good times.
Me too.
4 more weeks.
4 more weeks.
Woo-hoo. And yeah, good times. But I think unless you have anything else you want to say about the show, let's farewell. There it is.
Let's land this sucker.
Yeah, let's do that because it's been a long show.
Yeah.
Yep. But thank you, Robert. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yep. Fan league stuff, Facebook. Watch football this weekend. It's a great weekend of football.
Yes, and yeah, absolutely.
Scream, which also came out.
Yes. Yeah, and then so did the fourth Hotel Transylvania movie. It came out on Paramount Plus or Amazon. I don't know what.
The one where the monsters turn into humans or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first half was really good. The second half was so boring I fell asleep.
Okay. I believe that.
I watched it with my sons and my wife, and there is a point where it gets really, really slow, and I fell asleep because I'm an old man.
I understand this.
But yeah, like we only have one differing opinion of football, so we'll see who wins between.
No, we have 2.
49ers. Do we? Oh yeah, we do. So I was thinking, oh, there's only one, so there's no way there can be a tie. There could still be a tie, or you could be winning by 2 points.
Yep.
So, yay!
We'll see. I bet Jonathan does better than both of us, but that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm excited for next week, but yeah, you got the usual things to plug?
Yep, I just did. Fan league stuff's coming up. Nothing that's going to air by the time the next episode happens, but like I said, due to what's happening with those multiplex awards, you guys might not see me next week, so it might just be all solo. Han Solo and
yeah, I'm gonna have to find a guest because I can't do this by myself. Or I guess I could. I'll find something. I'll figure it out. But yeah, go. What's the channel? What's Multiplex's channel actually called?
Put me on the spot here. Their channel's called Multiplex Entertainment.
Okay, so if you want to go watch our good friend Robert win all the awards, at least one, and Anthony and Amaru are also going to be featured.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Everybody who's not Colton is.
Yeah, everyone that's not me, because there's no award for that, what I do. Just since I don't do anything over there. Yeah, so go watch that. It's good times. I will definitely be watching it. I don't know when I know it comes out next Friday, so it will be sometime during this show next Friday.
Yep.
But we have no idea if it's going to be live or it's going to be pre-taped. So, yeah, go watch that. I may actually stream it on.
Oh.
Ooh, I may actually just watch it and watch my reactions and then do commentary on it.
I like that idea.
If I can't find a co-host, I will absolutely do that. And I won't watch it beforehand, so it will be a surprise.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, that will be good. I just have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, that will be good. I can't wait. Just don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Colton Roberts 8 and follow the show at supernova_show. And yeah, that's the show. See you guys next week. Signing out.
Don't forget to tip your virtual waitresses, everyone.